Defensive tackle
Yeah,
Michael
no.
Bennett makes room for defensive
That would
end
be a
Dante
never.
Fowler Jr. back on the active roster after serving a one-game suspension. Bulls product and Florida State baseball star DJ Stewart has been called up by the Baltimore Orioles. Stewart, ranked as the number 23 prospect in the Baltimore organization, was selected by the Orioles in the first round of the 2015 draft. Several college football games have been canceled because of the impending threat of Hurricane Florence. The University of North Carolina has announced that Saturday's game against number 18 UCF has been canceled. The game was scheduled for noon on Saturday in Chapel Hill, while NC State has canceled their game against West Virginia, and East Carolina has announced their game will be canceled against Virginia Tech.
WJXL AM and FM, Jacksonville Beach, 1010XL, 1010XL, home of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Helmets and Heels, built by Dreamfinders Homes, is presented by Underwood Jewelers and American Window Products.
On 1010XL,
Now your hosts,
Lauren Brooks, Blythe Brumleve, and Lauren Rue.
It is the time of the year where we really wonder what Donna Murphy is truly made of. We know she's a warrior because she's very pregnant and she's here.
What up?
Yet, Jaguars v. Patriots, I just have to know, you're going to the game on Sunday at least for the first half. What will you be wearing?
It depends.
The answer is whatever fits.
It depends on something that I might be in the works with, so depends.
It's gonna be really hot at the game too.
What these shorts you see me wearing is what I will be wearing.
The top is still yet to be
The top.
determined.
Yes.
See? That's why I'm curious as to what you're really made of.
Yes.
So
but I
we'll
will be
find out
going.
via pictures?
I'll be attending with my mama, who will have her Brady shirt on.
Which,
So-
that's allowed for your mom, because your mom is
Yeah.
a sweet and wonderful person who's from up there.
And I'm
But
hoping.
we've tried to convert you.
And I'm hoping that all the fan base that we will hear comments from, because I know that we will hear it all, just take it easy on my mama and the Prego, okay? That's all. Just take it easy on us.
If fans are rude to a very pregnant woman,
well, that's my own fault
is
for
going
going
to
this
you.
pregnant. So
well, I guess it's
I kind of deserve
going
it.
Patriot stuff. All right, the Jaguars beat the Giants 20-15 up in New Jersey. I always want to say New York.
Well, it's
but
easy to do, yeah.
in East Rutherford, New Jersey. Blythe, is there such a thing as an ugly win in the NFL?
I mean, I think you got to win the ugly ones, but the good thing for us is that it's not college football. The win counts the same as it would in the same column, and so we're 1-0, undefeated, and it's just I think the biggest takeaway for me is that right before halftime we were winning. I think it was like 13-10 at some point, or maybe even I think it was 13-10, and everybody at our watch party was complaining, and I'm like, wow, what a time to be alive. That this point last year, or even any other season, we wouldn't be complaining about a lead going into halftime. We would be ecstatic, and everybody was just sort of like just grumpy about winning going into the half. And then of course the Jaguars end up coming away with the W, and so it was a little sloppy, but I think that's to be expected with September football. I mean, a lot of coaches, you'll hear them publicly say now that September football is just an extension of the preseason. And so I think that you're going to see a lot of sloppy play from not just the Jaguars, but from teams all over.
13-6, although it should have been 15-6 because that should have been a safety there.
Two safeties on the same play.
I know.
Well, yeah, either one would have worked. Lauren, what do you think? Do you think the Giants are a little bit better than we thought?
No, I don't think so. I think the defense did exactly what we thought they would do. We were fortunate enough to see them secure the game by getting the pick six. I think the offense still has questions. I still have questions about the offense, and I think Doug Marrone still has questions about the offense, and I think Blake Bortles probably does as well, and Nathaniel Hackett, shout out. He's a fan of Helmet and Heels. Hope he's listening tonight. I would assume they do as well, because the reality is we don't know on Tuesday, right now at 6:05, what the status is of Leonard Fournette. They might have a better idea than we are. I don't expect them to let it on to anything. I would be saying the exact same thing, and it could be the truth. The truth could be the doctors that have reported before have said that this is not a big deal and he's walking around and all the things. Yes, but the hamstring injury is one, or tweak or pull, whatever it is, whatever name they're giving it, is not one that is detrimental and keeps you out because your leg's hanging on by a thread. It's one that flares up. And for a running back who has to cut, who has to use that part of his body, as simple as it sounds, it can be one that's really obnoxious and flare up in a moment's notice, right? He takes one bad cut and he's walking over the sidelines going, it's bothered me again. So I think for me, look, I was relieved they got up. I was relieved they won. I picked against them, again, not because I wanted them to lose or because I was cheering for the Giants. That's not the way it works. It's because I legitimately thought that New York, it was going to be on the road in a place where between these two teams, the home team has won all the time to that point, had won all those series. But offensively, there's some questions that they've got to try to figure out between now and when the Patriots come to town on Sunday.
Donna, you get to watch an offense that is better than virtually every offense that's ever existed in the Patriots. Do you think that the Jaguars offense has a chance this weekend to go toe-to-toe with the Patriots?
Well, they're not playing the Jags defense, so yeah. I mean, it's the scary part is this defense. It's so similar to the second half of last year of what we saw. I mean, the defense has picked it up exactly where they left off. They're just so sick. They are so much fun to watch.
They didn't allow a 3rd and 18, thankfully.
Well, and I love that Campbell came out and he blamed himself on the long run for Barkley, but I love watching this defense. I sit up in my chair. I'm more riveted. I'm more in tune. And when the offense comes out, I'm like, biting my nails, sitting back, just, you're like, I don't know. You're way too nervous for this offense. So it's more for me about, what Bortles and the receivers can do against, the Pats defense. It got a little bit better, but it's not facing Jacksonville.
Well, and, last year in the postseason, we saw the Jaguars' offense look horrendous against the Bills. The one touchdown pass to Ben Koyak, who's no longer a Jaguar, and they won that game 10-3. Then they go on the road and they score 45 points against the Steelers in Pittsburgh. So the offense, virtually for a lot of the season, was very inconsistent. So that part doesn't make me think, well, who they were last week is automatically who they're going to be this week. And I do think the Giants have a better defense even without Olivier Vernon than the Patriots do. But then again, maybe that's me just tricking myself into thinking because the Patriots let so many talented players go year after year that's happened again. And we'll get into their offseason moves in a little bit. But I think overall, the biggest concern certainly Fournette, and can they figure out an offense that's going to be as dangerous if he's not in the game or if he's not 100% healthy?
Well, and it puts the spotlight, if that's the case, on two areas. TJ Yeldon and possibly Grant getting some more touches. He only had one on Sunday, and that wide receiving core, which did not really look like they gelled at all. There were some really costly drops,
yes.
And there's nobody who we walked out of there Sunday going, oh, that's the guy right there, and we can count on him to catch the football. D.D. Westbrook had some good things, but he also had some bad drops. Moncrief did not look very good, and Cole at times. Again, I did not feel confident about their chemistry mixing with Blake after Sunday's game. And so I think that, again, they're sitting there going, all right, if he can't go, what do we do next? And there's, again, that wide receiving core still has a lot of questions, I think.
They had 3 crucial drops in the first half, and then not only that, but the offensive line. I know it's going to take a little while for offensive lines to gel.
That's for sure.
He had a bad first half. I think the second half he got it together a little bit, but then Cam Robinson had a bad second half. And Norwell's penalty, he had a hands to the face penalty, I believe, that negated a touchdown. Mm-hmm. And that game felt like it should have been a blowout in the first half, and it wasn't. And they were playing them tough. And that's a game that the Giants should win at home. But the Jaguars, as sloppy as it was, penalties, missed tackles, drops, Blake having a sketchy game, but he had a great run, that 40-plus yard run. But that's a game that you need to come away. A sloppy win is still the same. It still counts as a W in the win column.
I had really high expectations for Andrew Norwell, the big free agent signing this season. And the left guard, I thought, didn't perform well. So he was my most disappointing player. Donna, how about you?
Disappointing, I would have to say. I mean, collectively the O-line, but I'll agree with you, Norwell, that you're just surprised because you expect so much and you've heard how good he is, and that didn't show up.
Blythe?
Yeah, it was just the offensive line. Cam Robinson and Andrew Norwell. And the offensive line play collectively across the league gets better as these guys play together. And we have to keep in mind that these guys have really only played, a first half all together, if that. And so
they never played together in the preseason, all 5.
Norwell and Cam Robinson, I believe that they played together.
Norwell and Cam, I thought you meant the whole offensive.
Well, yeah, Norwell and Cam, they played together in the 3rd preseason game. But it's going to take naturally for all offensive lines in order to have some time together, in order to develop that chemistry and gel together. But like I said, September win is still a win.
I'll just, again, circle back around and lump the wide receiving core together. Dante Moncrief is somebody that I have had, and still do, have big expectations for. Again, week 1, 15 more of these to go, and then, of course, the playoffs afterwards. But he's the more experienced of those wideouts. He is the biggest physically as well. And I just was shocked at his performance from Sunday.
And the Giants secondary is pretty good, but yeah, he didn't get enough separation, and I thought that he needed to fight harder in that ball that
he had
that 50-50 ball that
he should have 14 yards, yeah.
And then
I thought targeted 5 times.
Yeah, I thought linebacker Laurentian Mccray had an excellent football game. With Dante Fowler Jr. suspended, he usually plays a lot of special teams, not necessarily a lot of actual starting linebacking role or start as a starting linebacker. I thought he flashed. I thought he was fantastic. He had one of the 2 Jaguars sacks. I thought he was terrific. What say you?
Barry Church. No one talks about Barry Church because it's always about AJ Boye or Ramsey. And Barry Church, I was just, every time I looked, he's in on the tackle. I mean, he had 6 solo tackles alone. Yep. So I'm just like, hey, I love that you came up. All right, I'm enjoying it, because all the focus was obviously on Ramsey and OBJ. And all of a sudden you just see, Church coming around the corner. So it was great.
I think Marone called Church last year something like his peacekeeper in the back, because the other guys can get certainly high,
right?
Loud, all that stuff, and yeah, he's kind of the calm one.
Hayden too. He filled in nicely after the departure of Coleman in the offseason. Hayden filled in, really had a couple crucial plays on that last drive to end the game. But my surprise player, I'm going to go Miles Jack. I don't know that it's that much of a surprise, because I expected him to have a good game, but 11 tackles and an interception for a touchdown. I mean, you can't ask for a better performance than that. And what sort of an iconic and sort of funny moment to have your first real game after the AFC Championship game, after all of the Miles Jack wasn't down hoopla in the offseason, to get a pick 6 in this game was awesome.
Willie Jackson, 4 tackles on the day for him. He's obviously a huge part of this defense, and look, they work so well together. That entire unit just seems in sync, and they have so much depth at just about every position that you can't go wrong picking whoever you decide to pick. So you notice we all
offense,
we were like, get it together. Defense, we're like, all right, that's where you. But again, that's the identity of this team. We're not breaking any news here. That's just the reality of it.
Absolutely. When we come back, we are going to give you an injury update and get into more of this Patriots team. They, of course, come to TIAA Bank Field Sunday, kicking off at 4:25. You're listening to Helmets and Heels, built by Dreamfinders Homes on 1010XL.
After the game, join Hacker and Andrew Gibson for the Northeast.
Okay. You can ask him a question. Hey, Jay.
Ready?
I'm ready. Lauren has a quick question for you. She'll come in there, though. Did you hear? The last 2 years, the Jaguars returned a punt for a touchdown, earning local families $100,000 towards a Dreamfinders home. Lauren Brooks here, letting you know that could be you this season. Visit any Dreamfinders Homes model and register to win the Take It to the House promotion for your chance at scoring $100,000 towards your Dreamfinders home. That's right, you can earn $100,000 towards a Dreamfinders home by registering for the Take It to the House promotion. Dreamfinders Homes, homes built to fit your lifestyle.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
30 people
Yeah.
party.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So I really did have, I put my earbuds attached. I was really listening to the drill while they're sitting there pushing, trying to turn her. And I was just trying to concentrate while holding what they call laughing gas, which they're like, no one ever laughs.
It just makes you all like loopy.
Well, it just makes you not care. Yeah. Like, I feel the pain, but I can breathe through it and I'm fine. But when they first started and I was breathing, they're like, okay, ready, and go. And I'm like, Like the poor lady looked in my eyes and I was freaking out.
Oh, no.
And so I go, I feel everything. I don't think this is working.
Oh.
And it wasn't working.
Oh, no
And I'm like,
wonder.
And so they had to fix and switch tanks because one tank was empty and they had that one hooked. So then I start breathing again, and then the tingles come and I'm like, okay, you can start
How
now.
long did it take?
They tried 3 different times. And she would go and then not budge past the rib cage. She's like, nope, I'm not doing it, sorry.
She's comfy.
I was telling
Yeah,
my girlfriend
sure.
last night. She said her doctor has like a 96%
Yeah.
turn or whatever, and so she was like, "If you've done it once," and I was like, "I think she's set with
She's
a
not
C-section."
moving.
Yeah.
She's not. And they were pushing hard. They're like, you're probably going to have bruises. I'm like, well, please put it in my chart for when I come back to the
God,
doctor.
the whole thing.
So I don't want them to think anything's going on. But I was just sitting there, so, once the gas kicked in, my go-to, I don't know, habit or whatever, because I did it all last time with JT, whenever there's pain, I laugh. If I'm in pain, I'll just laugh. Oh, this hurts so bad. That's all I do. So they're laughing. And it's not helping because then this is shaking and they're trying to move. And they're just like, no one ever laughs and they'll laugh again. So I'm like, I'm sorry. I can't help it. Give me a pause. They're like, oh, do you want us to try again? I go, she's clearly not moving, so no. But thanks for the attempt.
Do they have like a sonogram on you the whole time to tell?
Yeah. Yeah, they'll try and push, and then they'll go and look, and they're like, seriously, she's not moving from that ribs. I'm like, so I went. I'm going with her head is so ginormous that she just does not want to tear me up. So she's like, seriously, keep me
Actually,
here
yeah, you can
because I don't want to hurt
You
you.
can just open
I have
pretty please, and I
pain
don't have to throw
going
it.
on right here.
You can say
You
it.
talk about it, so I can't
You don't even have to
imagine.
say anything about fanfare. You can just
What
start.
you got going
Yeah.
on?
I'm like,
Leonard's
man,
running back Leonard for now.
I don't know how
Yeah,
big her head
in the
is,
second
but
quarter
if it's
ball.
bigger than JT's, then yeah, I'm grateful. Because he had a ginormous head.
What's that?
Any
I
reason
only
why
put
you
the
wouldn't want to do a
iPhone
C-section?
in case
It's a
he
longer
wasn't
recovery.
ready.
How
He
much
was.
of a difference is it?
Well, I was up and walking around fine, walking around the neighborhood in a week, when I was home doing walks. And this one just takes, they want you up walking around, but
You're not
they
even supposed to be able to drive for like, you're talking about after
Yeah.
for like 2 weeks.
yeah. That's why I'm like,
So someone's gonna have to take you to take her to the doctor.
Well, TJ is off the ship starting Tuesday. He's free.
Oh, yeah.
And so he has a lot of time off. I'm like, that's perfect.
Yeah.
He goes, yeah. Because she wasn't due until the 27th. But when this happened last week, they're like, all right, we'll schedule it for 39 weeks. I'm like, yes.
Yeah.
Not the same day as JT.
Yeah.
So thank you. I'm like, that works. And immediately, what my first question was to TJ when they left? Because it's on a Thursday. I go, what's the Thursday night matchup? Because I'll be in here. And I could watch it, And he's like, Jets, Browns. I was like, oh.
It might
But
actually
now
be
it might be good,
good,
right?
yeah.
I'm like, oh, never mind. I'm like, give me something I can watch.
So Alex says, I think we should make it a comedy thing where Rue picks against the Jags every week.
That's my plan. Therefore,
Let's do it for the content.
It's what do you call it?
Just a nice little
reverse
bit.
psychology. So that way, if I pick against them, they'll continue to win.
Yep.
And then the time if I actually pick them, they're going to lose. And
Right.
then I'm going to be like, but I can't win.
Yeah.
We
You
did
gotta
that
sacrifice
one
yourself.
year.
Yep.
That's it.
What year did we do that? Every time we picked, it was one of us. Every time someone picked one team, whatever it was, whether they won or lost, they did the opposite. And I don't remember.
I don't remember either.
Right? It was a couple years ago.
Do you remember who?
No, I don't. But I remember every
Well,
time
well,
it's like, I'm going to pick them to win. And they lose. I'm going to pick them to lose. And they win every time. I give up.
Gorgeous?
Maybe. I don't know. But I do remember it. I remember laughing. Like, let's just give up on this pick. Shall we? Crazy.
You know what, Lauren? It'll probably sound a lot better
Yeah.
if we come back and you're like, let's shoot to the fair and fair injury update.
You got it.
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
Thank you.
You're listening to Helmets and Heels, built by Dreamfinders Homes,
Presented by Underwood Jewelers and American Window Products.
on 1010XL, 92.5 FM.
Welcome back to Helmets and Heels, built by Dreamfinders Homes on 1010XL. It is game week, as it is going to be a rematch of last year's AFC Championship game with the Patriots coming to Jacksonville. Before we get to that matchup, Lauren, what do you have with injuries?
The personal injury attorneys of Farah and Farah present this injury update. Farah and Farah, protecting you and your family since 1979.
Brooks, I'm 0 for 2. I'm jumping the gun on the fair.
We're going to get you in.
You know what?
In
Third
shape.
time will be.
Injury update report.
That's
shape.
right. I'll be in midseason before you know it. Going into the opener, all was clear. Everybody was good to go. There had been some guys who were held out. Did some light practice stuff throughout the week, but for game one, everybody got the green light. Now, here we are. We find ourselves on Tuesday. We all saw what happened to Leonard Fournette in that second quarter, pulled up with a hamstring. Doug Marrone, though, says it's really not a big deal, and we probably shouldn't worry about it.
They said it was in a good part, which I don't know if there's any good part of those things, So I think that, it's something that he felt like, I know when I talked to him, he's had it before, knows how to treat it. So, that makes things pretty optimistic, whereas normally I'm not that optimistic.
So we'll wait and see what happens. As I mentioned before, I don't expect Doug Marrone to say anything about it until he has to, because the Patriots are kind of waiting to see, are they going to have their number one back in the backfield. And in addition to that, Leon Jacobs was spotted in a boot. He didn't play much of the game, didn't participate in many snaps. We don't know really the situation there. Again, the official report on a Tuesday is not out yet. And then did you guys happen to see Austin Seferian-Jenkins take a hit to the back? I think when he was actually caught a pass, and then when he was tackled, he was looked like he was hit between the shoulder blades. Again, this is me playing doctor, but he writhed real like it almost was a stinger, and he kind of flexed up and rolled on his back on his backside, and I thought, oh, that's not going to be good. But turns out he was all right. And,
I heard you ask Baloo about that. And
yeah,
he said he was perfectly
now it's
fine.
a guy who had the core injury, and he may be somebody we keep an eye on. But obviously, the one we're all circling to find out will he, won't he go is Leonard Fournette against the Patriots on Sunday.
And we probably won't find out until after the kickoff show, Fueled by Sawyer Gas, on Sunday, because why would they tell us until they absolutely have
Last
to with
minute.
the
That's right.
injury report. Blythe, you mentioned Miles Jack. He has 3 consecutive games with a takeaway. Obviously, Miles Jack wasn't down, became the rallying cry for everyone this offseason. He said yesterday this is the biggest week of his life, so certainly a lot of eyes are on him. It makes me feel like this Jaguars team is thinking a little bit too much about last season, but I know the coaches and Tom Coughlin are way too smart to say last season is over. That game is so far in the books, don't even think about it. But if you were a player, wouldn't it kind of still be in your head that the last time you were on the field with them, they got the best of you?
I mean, these guys have to say this in public, but we all know that that's what they're thinking about. They're all hoping that it's not hoping, but they want another crack at the Patriots. They want another crack at Bill Belichick and Tom Brady. And it's only natural for them to feel that way. And I know that they want to put up a front, media-wise, that this is not going to be a concern and that they're going to treat this game like anything else, but they're only human.
Sure, it's a revenge game is what it is. So I went through all the different Patriot stuff. Donna, you all know all of this by heart, but it's fun for me because I feel like it means that the Patriots aren't as good.
There's a lot of no names on that.
Traded wide receiver Brandon Cooks to the Rams. Left tackle Nate Solder, Jaguars just faced. He's with the Giants. Wide receiver Danny Amendola with the Dolphins now. Cornerback Malcolm Butler and running back Deion Lewis with the Titans. Running back Rex Burkhead, one positive, wasn't able to play much against the Jaguars in that AFC Championship game, but now he's healthy. He had a good game last week. Wide receiver Julian Edelman, suspended. Injury-wise, they've already had 2 guys out for the year on IR. The guard Isaiah Wynn from Georgia, he suffered a torn Achilles, which is awful. And then running back Jeremy Hill just tore his ACL. Also, running back Sony Michel out of Georgia missed week 1 with a little bit of a knee injury. Not sure how he's going to be this week. All that being said, they still went out and took care of business against the Titans, beat them by a touchdown, and it's regular old Patriots win again. Tell me what I'm missing. I feel like this Patriots team is not as good as the one the Jaguars faced in the AFC Championship game, but tell me what I'm wrong. How I'm wrong.
They're not. The post-game press conference with Brady was hilarious because they asked him first a question about one of the wide receivers, and I don't remember. I think it was Dorsett, and
who did have a good game.
Yeah, who raved about him, and then but the facial reaction was very just whatever, very Belichick like blah 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 blah. And so the next question came. He's like, "Well, I really want to ask you about Gronk, but you really don't seem happy." He's like, "I'm not. This offense has a lot to do. We have a lot to work on." And he was not happy. So when you get the mixture of Brady being ticked off, and for some reason, Belichick was funny and lighthearted and relaxed, and that's not what I'm normally used to. So it's very odd. It seems, I don't know, this locker room seems very different this year than I'm used to. It kind of seems like, well, this is our last year. That's what it seems like. It seems like Brady's determined to get it right, and Belichick's like, whatever, sayonara, I'm going to sail off in my 5-ring boat, whatever it's called, and peace out.
I compared the 2017 and the 2018 depth charts for the Patriots, and a lot of guys that were second and third string last year are now starting this year. So either they develop their players really well and it's time for them to start, or they really did let this mass exodus of talent go, and now they're having backups take over the starting role.
Well, and they don't care. You have to, it literally is do your job. The one guy muffed a punt, and he was gone yesterday.
Riley McCarron.
Bye.
That's right.
That's it. Bye. We asked you to do one job, and that's your job.
You had one job.
And you didn't do it right, so
so today the Patriots signed 2 wide receivers. I should mention them. Wide receiver Corey Coleman, who was a former first-round pick. Browns got rid of him. He went to Buffalo, didn't last there.
Right.
Now he's certainly hoping he found a good home in New England. And then Benny somebody
Fulmer?
Today. No, it was like...
Yeah, I think
Is that who it was?
I think Fulmer. But they're also...
Fowler, yeah.
Yeah.
Benny Fowler. So a journeyman guy, too.
And they're looking to sign another running back just to give them
which
that
makes
depth.
sense.
Yeah.
Especially now with Jeremy Hill out and Sony
But
Michel.
look, it's Houston, though. You're also going up against Bill O'Brien, who Mr. Quarterback Guru can't decide worth crap of what to do. So,
I have a question. I heard a stat the other day about Bill Belichick and how there's a theory that in September he experiments far more than any other month during the year or during the season, and that he has a win percentage of 66% in the month of September, while in December he has an 83% winning percentage in December. So he experiments a lot more in September. Does anything come to mind as far, because I hear experiment and I don't go to like a play that I remember that the Patriots run.
No, I would suggest probably like what I mentioned with the punt return. Like they give you more shots and more chances, and then they get it right later in December. But plus, I mean, it's a cold weather team, so they can. You're giving them enough preparation ahead of time, and then December comes around, they're facing their opponents a second time around, and Belichick's percentage of losing twice in the same year to the same guy does not. It's not very high.
I don't even know if that's ever happened.
It has.
And it really has.
But it's not very high.
Yeah.
So that would make a lot of sense, because in December, that's usually when they're facing Miami again, and it used to be Indy again, or whoever it is.
And Blythe, as far as the Jaguars go, same question, different team, obviously. Jaguars no longer have Coleman, like you mentioned. He goes to the Texans. Then you've got Leon Jacobs, a rookie, starting at strong side linebacker once Paul Posluszny decided to retire. New nickel corner, and DJ Hayden, not a rookie, but new to this team. Left guard, Andrew Norwell takes over. Marquise Lee now is out for the season. Both Alan Hearns and Allen Robinson are gone, though Allen Robinson didn't play, of course, in that AFC Championship game. You now add Dante Moncrief, DJ Chark, and then tight ends Austin Seferian-Jenkins. Are the Jaguars a better team now than in the AFC Championship?
I think they're only slightly better, and slightly better as far as a personnel-wise goes, but this was sort of the case last season that the Jaguars sort of surprised everyone. And this season, it's all about expectations, because you're not surprising anyone this year. And the Patriots know you're coming, and we know they're coming, and we played each other before in the AFC Championship games. So this is about living up to those expectations and having the weight of the world on your shoulders. And I think that that's where you're going to tell a lot from this team, how far they've grown, as far as maturity-wise, as far as focus-wise. I think that's where you're going to see the biggest difference in this team, good or bad.
And I do think Blake Bortles has better weapons around him this year. I'm just not sure that they're at the same point as they had gotten to by January of last season, where they all understood their roles. Right now, it's still very early in the year, and a lot of these guys are brand new. And Bortles doesn't have his fallback guy in Marquise Lee. Then again, though, last year he didn't have Allen Robinson, and he learned to work through that. So if Leonard Fournette, though, isn't able to play at all, then obviously scratch kind of the entire offensive plan that the Jaguars have had going into this season, with him being kind of the stud of the offense. And then you're going to have to rework everything, and they'll certainly figure that out. They're very smart guys. But I think we are looking at two teams, again, from a very limited knowledge standpoint of the actual X's and O's. It just looks to me on paper like the Patriots got worse and the Jaguars got better.
Yeah, I'm always real cautious of on paper how teams are supposed to play, because on paper the Steelers should have destroyed the Cleveland Browns, and that game ended in a tie.
You picked the Browns.
That was my upset of the week.
Well, she wasn't wrong.
Yes.
No, she wasn't.
No, I wasn't, Donna. Thank you so much for being on my side. So look, the reality is people still fear Tom Brady, and rightfully so, right? You can tell me that there's all these replacements and name all these things. They still have Tom Brady. And that can be terrifying at times. Now, the good news is the Jacksonville defense has everybody where they're supposed to be. Pin tricks if you're watching on
Get you excited with the pins.
Sure does. Anyway, yeah, back to you in HD.
All right, when we come back, because Donna does not often get to Jaguars games, she wants to know what's the one thing she should expect from the fan base. And I have a feeling Blythe is going to be the best person to tell her, so we will do that next. You're listening to Helmets and Heels, built by Dreamfinders Homes on 1010XL.
Wins on Sunday require great performances.
231. So visitor side.
Okay, you'll be all right.
But it's funny because my mom and I went last year. We went to the Raiders game.
Oh, yeah, you'll be more than fine. Because I've sat in 131 before, and it felt like an away section.
Yeah.
And I was pissed. And I was like, I'm never sitting over here.
Right, and it was all Raiders fans there. And I was just sat back. I'm like, man, I'm surprised by this. There was like a couple Jacksonville, because it's season ticket. That's where he gets the season tickets.
Even in the lower level, it was all, not all, but it was definitely too close for. It was like 60-40 Jag fans to away game.
But that was
fans.
early in the season, and I think because the Jags fans didn't really know how well they were going to be, they might have given their tickets to their Raider friends, and. So I don't know if they'll necessarily do that.
I know a couple fans who have sold their tickets this week, and they've already paid for their season tickets just by simply selling 2 tickets.
Yeah, I bet.
That's crazy. Especially when people jumping out of those buildings. That was like one of the worst things.
Have y'all ever heard the 911 call? The guy that was
calling his wife on the plane.
No, it was the 911 call on 9/11, and he was in. You could hear he was talking to the operator, and you could hear the building, and the conversation just stops. I think this lady though, she survived like 20 floors collapsing.
Oh, that lady.
I think I've seen this story before.
Crazy. So it looks like it's going to be pretty hot.
90-something degrees on Sunday.
Yeah.
I'm not even going to bother doing my hair. I was like, oh, first home game. I bought my outfit today. I was like, yes. And then I thought about my hair. I was like, it's going to fall flat the minute you try to do anything with it.
Pull it up.
I got one of those like sock bun things.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God. I swear by those things now.
What's a sock bun?
It puts your hair in like a really cute bun. Like you put your hair in a ponytail like that, and then you put the sock. It's like I have it with me. Yeah. So you put this, put it through your hair through it, and then you wrap your hair around it, and you just twist it all the way down, and it puts your hair in like the perfect bun. Perfect. And I would keep one on me at all times in case my hair gets all crazy.
Where was that when I danced?
You can get them on Amazon. Like $3.
I know. I mean,
back in the day
when it's like 1,000 bobby pins.
But you can do it with a sock too. You just have to cut the foot part off, and it makes it into the same thing.
How cool! That's neat. Maybe I should ask that one guy for his Nike socks.
Have a Nike hair bun.
Fine by me.
Oh, I can't wait. It's the safest place to after party. Big win in Duval coming up from Miami to. Oh, the safest place to after party? I'd say the Cabana. If you're inside the stadium, go to the Cabanas. Because I think they serve alcohol up to 2 hours after the game is over.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah. We go there whenever we win. We're not allowed to go when we lose. But usually they have like the guys doing the broadcast over there. Fred Taylor's. I've seen him over there. Scobie. Oh yeah, that's a good call, Alex, too. Intuition would be my vote.
I think you meant to text that to me. I don't know what you're talking about.
I hate getting texts like that. But I hate getting texts like that. Like, am I supposed to respond to that?
Right.
Is this meant for me?
Just send me, huh? Crumb catcher. Still trying to send the picture. What are you talking about?
My cousin Tommy is named after somebody who died in 9/11. My uncle used to work in the World Trade Center building.
Wow.
He didn't go to work that day because he had a softball game that night.
There's so many stories like that too, of like,
Yeah.
did you almost but overslept, or
I remember one that kind of floated around that may or may not have been true, but about a guy who was having an affair, and he worked in the World Trade Center, but he was not at work. This was one of those urban legend things, like, oh, did you hear that? And he was at his other person's house, and his wife called and was like, where are you? And he's like, I'm at work.
he wasn't.
And she was like, really?
That's no good.
But again, that was one of those stories that
Yeah.
I felt like got passed around. I was like, did that really happen? Did that really happen to somebody?
There's a story of a woman that was on the flight, Flight 93 in Pennsylvania, and she was pregnant. And she called her husband and she was like, I'm not going to make it. I love you.
Oh, by the way, I was pregnant.
And, well, no, she was like, her husband knew she was pregnant.
Oh.
So she died and the baby died, and then the husband ended up donating a lot of money to like a hospital nearby and stuff like that. But that story always stuck with me because it's like, not only did he lose like his person, he lost like his whole
getting
life.
those phone calls like from the people in the air who were like, here's what you need to know because this is what's happening, and feeling hopeless and like helpless, and you're like, what do you mean? What? Yeah.
Oh, and all the towers or cell towers were jammed with phone calls, and really during the early stages of cell phones.
Presented by Underwood Jewelers and American Window Products.
On 1010XL, 92.5 FM.
Welcome back to Helmets and Heels, built by Dreamfinders Homes. It is a big Jaguars home game this week. Pat's come to town, and I'm going to the game. I may be only a few days away from giving birth, but I'm excited. And I figured, well, if she's going to come early, might as well just go at the field. Why not? I mean, that'd be a perfect little place. That'd be a great story, right?
Yeah, it would be a great story.
Fantastic.
First responders everywhere.
I'm set, man. I'll just say, I'm sorry. I need Mr. Coughlin. Can you come over here just to, I don't know, bless the baby, Godfather? So maybe it could be great. It would be a fun little story. Why not? So I only go to a couple games every few years. Hard when the husband's out at sea and your son's so young. He doesn't like the loud noises, so I can't bring him. And so I'm going with my mom. We went last year to the Raiders game, and it was earlier in the season, so we were surrounded where we sat was by a lot of Raiders fans. To my surprise, that obviously changed later in the season for the Jags, which is great. So I know to expect, especially with my mom who will be wearing her Brady shirt, and with whatever I'm going to be able to fit in. I know to expect the Miles Jack wasn't down, which, by the way, Patriot fans don't know what you're talking about. They really don't. That's not even a thought in their mind.
Well, they're going to learn on Sunday.
So they're just going to be confused. Like, I don't know what you're talking about. You're just going to confuse them and I would say not get a reaction.
Really? They don't know?
No.
Huh.
Nope. Not 1 ounce. When I talk to my brothers, they're like, what are you talking about? I'm like, yeah. I hear it every day, but so I know what I'm talking about. But I'm just letting you know, fans out there, that the majority of the Pats fans, if however many go, will not know what you're talking about. But so what can I expect? I love that it's a 4:25 start. Hopefully not as hot as a 1 o'clock start.
Oh, it's gonna be 90 degrees.
Would be. But what should I look forward to, especially this season?
On the field or in the stands?
Both.
In the stands, I don't know that you're gonna have a good time, and I don't know that you should have a good time. I don't think you should be threatened. Of course, not being pregnant, but there probably will be a lot of things shouted your way. That's just what happens. And then maybe if you stand up and show everybody that you're pregnant, maybe it'll die down a little bit. But outside of that, I mean, obviously the field on the play is going to be the most important determining factor on how you're treated during the game. I would imagine walking in and leaving is going to be the roughest part. But I think there's going to be a lot of Patriots fans there. I don't know that it's going to be overwhelming like a Steelers game, but I think they're currently still selling standing room only tickets for about $100 a piece. I've seen a lot of tickets on StubHub for at least $250 a piece. I know a bunch of fans who have sold their tickets and sold their season tickets and have paid for their entire season tickets just simply by selling tickets to this game.
Which is smart play.
Yeah, it's really smart play.
Yeah.
I personally wouldn't do it because I'm not missing this game. It's been marked on my calendar ever since the last the AFC Championship game. But I think you'll be treated relatively fine. It's going to be a lot of trash talking. I don't know if it's going to be like abusive trash talking. Just I think that with Jaguar fans in particular, we're relatively nice. And even when they traveled really well last season, you know, the Bold City Brigade guys and all that, they said that they were treated extremely well by other away fan bases. So that tells me that it's a friendly back and forth versus some nastiness that you might hear from like Steelers fans or Raiders fans.
And I heard that when they did go to Foxborough last year that it wasn't a harsh environment like it was in Pittsburgh. You know, it was mutual respect and whatnot. So, I mean, the last time that they were in town years ago, we went as a family, and it was not but it was really just because of one overserved moron that wanted to make fun of some of the Pats fans with their chowder head hats and stuff like that. So I remember that, but my dad was supposed to go with my mom, and he's like, I know the fan base is going to be out of control, so I don't want to deal with that. I'm like, well,
I feel like it
I'll
depends
deal with it because I don't. You're not going to hurt me.
I mean,
you know?
it depends on the only sort of aggressiveness that I've seen towards away fans is when the away fan is the aggressor.
Right.
And that's when I think you got to have a little bit of like away fan etiquette where you sit in the stands, you watch your team, you cheer when it's appropriate. Right. But if just don't start, nothing won't be nothing.
I agree. There's no Eagles fans coming to this game, which, by the way, I did see when we were watching there's thousands of pre-games, you know, CBS and Countdown and whatnot. When they were outside of Gillette, one lone Eagles fan. I'm like, what are you doing at that game? Between, you know, and that's what makes me so mad. I'm like, no, your team isn't playing today and not here. Don't wear that crap here.
I do have a buddy who is coincidentally an Eagles fan, and he bought season tickets for like 5 years in a row to the Jaguars just because when he lived up in Philly, he wasn't able to get season tickets. So now that he lives down here and he has such free access to them, then he gets it just to be able to go to an NFL game. And then he'll hang out, he'll watch from his seats, and then he'll go over to like the Bud Zone area and watch the TVs in there so he can watch all the games.
And he comes dressed in his Eagles garb. It makes me so mad.
I'll tell you something I've noticed being a transplant here. There's a lot of people who obviously move in from other parts of the country and have allegiances to other teams. On Sunday, when I came home from the Sawyer Gas kickoff show, driving back into the neighborhood, people are out, they're on their golf carts, they're on their bikes, and I saw Giants jerseys, I saw Vikings jerseys. I mean, I saw about every jersey you could think of teams that were in action on Sunday. And so I think it's a little bit different because this is such a melting pot, if you will, of people that move to the Jacksonville area for a number of reasons, which is pretty cool also. There isn't this, you're either with us or you're against us mentality. I understand the fact that Jag fans, if you come to their games, want you to cheer for the Jaguars, and I can totally understand. But I also, and Blythe, you spoke to this, I would assume there's a mutual respect of, hey, we're not going to like throw crap at you like maybe they do up in Foxborough. I don't know where they are mean to
Probably
the opposing
Philly.
fans. Philly for sure, right?
Pittsburgh.
I mean, there's all sorts of places. How many fights have we seen out in Oakland? Raiders fans losing their minds. The Bills Mafia, for God's sakes, right? So
we know all about them.
Yeah. So I think if this seems to be a hey, we're here to cheer for our team as long as you're not a jerk, then wear your jersey and do your thing.
I think when you first sit down, you know, if you're wearing Patriots stuff, I still haven't figured out and determined what you're going to be wearing, but try as I might. But I think if you're wearing Patriots
jersey
stuff, it's something, that you kind of say to people, look, I'm from up in, New England. I also have a soft spot for the Jaguars. I work for 1010XL. And no matter who wins,
if anybody there, are fans, and I say I work for 1010, oh, you're Donna. We know who you are. I know I'll get that. That's fine.
What if you do take a Jaguars jersey, or no, a Patriots jersey, and make it like a crop top, and then paint your belly in Jaguar colors? So then you make the baby
never
a Jaguars
ever
fan.
Are you going to see my bare belly, painted or not?
But it won't be bare because it's painted.
Nope, not.
You'll be like
this,
one of the painted models.
Not this 2 watermelon size belly. It was a great weekend though. NFL is back, and I'm so excited. Yes. I love. I'm so much more of a bigger NFL fan. However, I know that we'll talk college football later, but that was an exciting college football weekend for a few games. It really was. But what surprised you from week 1 of the NFL? What was the most surprising storyline? It could be disappointing, or it can be, you were elated.
I would definitely say the ending to the Bears-Packers game. I think that's good. That's a definite given. But I'd also say Monday night's game with the Lions, Matt Patricia debuting as a head coach, Stafford's 5 interceptions. I really thought that they would have a much better of a performance, of a debut performance of all of them together. And I think after the game, it was the Jets players that said that they knew what the Lions offense was going to play or call according to the different hand signals that they used. I just thought that was fascinating that you're going to have the same hand signals from last season and you're not going to make any kind of adjustments. I just thought this Lions team has been mediocre for a decade. Matt Stafford has been billed as the next big thing for a decade, and he has not a single playoff win on his resume.
Lock of the week was supposed to be the Saints.
Yes.
Was supposed to be the Saints.
So you're going Fitz magic.
Are terrible. They were supposed to be terrible. Jameis Winston being out the first 3 games. This was supposed to be a lock.
The bearded one, man. Yeah.
Ryan Fitzpatrick, what? And don't tell me just because he went to Harvard. That's why he threw for over 400 yards and 4 touchdowns. But what in the world? How did that even happen? So I was shocked. I flipped over, or I couldn't watch that game because I don't think we picked it up here. But anyway, I'm keeping up with it on Twitter and things, and I'm like, is this score right? There's no way. And then I'm like, oh, jeez. Another one of my picks gone down the drain. So, Ryan Fitzpatrick, good for you. Enjoy your 15 minutes of fame. No way he repeats that performance. And a lot of people are hoping that the Saints, who some people picked to represent the NFC in the Super Bowl, get it together and get. But again, it's week 1, so.
Yeah, then that is certainly a disappointment for Saints fans because that game was at home and
yes,
they
how
and the Bucs
embarrassing!
don't have Jameis
Jeez,
Winston, but we'll see if Jameis Winston gets to be the starting quarterback once his 3-game suspension is over. I would say, between Ryan Fitzpatrick and then last night, Sam Darnold. You throw a pick on your very first drive, and then you come back and not only beat a Lions team with a rookie head coach, but he was the second quarterback behind Tom Brady to win his first game by at least 31 points, and he set a franchise record for the most points scored in a road game. As a rookie starting his very first game, the Jets seem to have stumbled upon a franchise quarterback. Again, week 1, it's hard to say he's going to be outstanding the rest of the season, but the Jets weren't expected to be very good. The Lions certainly have much higher expectations.
What about your boy, Jimmy G?
He's my disappointment.
I know, right? Oh, but
him and Deshaun Watson, terrible.
I will go in his defense. He's going up against the second best defense because I say Jags the best.
3 picks.
I know.
First loss.
It's
they figured out the scheme.
Loss. I was like,
Jalen Ramsey was right. It was all scheme.
Man, I gotta go with the Cowboys.
They're a disaster.
Which I kind of enjoyed because who likes Jerry Jones? Other than Cowboy fans.
Yeah, and I enjoy it.
Most fans don't even like him.
No.
The Dallas fan in the room, we won't mention her by name, is not a huge Jerry Jones fan currently. So
wait, you're a Dallas fan? Oh, okay.
I grew up in Arkansas. That's a huge Dallas Cowboys fan base. Oklahoma. I mean, there's so many ties between Arkansas and Oklahoma State players who played in Dallas. One that's out on the free market right now with the Jags.
So you don't even like Jerry Jones?
No, I mean I don't. That is like one big soap opera after another. They're going to be 8-8 probably every year, and they got bad problems. That whole place is a disaster. The offense is inept.
Yes.
Stationary.
Do you think Dak is the guy?
Yeah, because they've committed to him being the guy. But the play calling, the Ezekiel Elliott should run all over the place, and he sure didn't. The wide receivers, I mean, that used to be kind of the bread and butter of their offense, and they were stationary.
How did Allen Hurns look?
I didn't get to watch. I watched some of it, but I couldn't tell you. I'd have to go back. But when we only score 8 points, I mean that's
not
the
probably
story
not.
He had 3 targets and only caught 1 ball for 20 yards.
Yeah. By the way, Giants at the Cowboys this Sunday night. That's the Sunday night game. That'll be a fun game because the Jaguars obviously have faced the Giants already, and then the Jaguars do go on the road this season and play the Cowboys. By the way, Donna, it was driving me crazy. I couldn't remember. The Jaguars played the Raiders 2 years ago. So you experienced a completely different fan base. I was trying to go through and I was like, I don't think I remember the Raiders game last season. Yeah. And I remember Blythe talking about how disappointed she was in the Jaguars.
Yes, I do remember that game.
That was 2 years ago. And so you experienced a fan base that
was Gus Bradley still.
It was all Raiders fans.
And that was right. That was not the same fan base that you'll experience on Sunday. Completely different vibe in the stadium. Completely different atmosphere.
Just go easy on me. That's all.
I was so angry after that game.
I don't think
I'm not going to throw any shade in anybody's face.
I think it is ridiculous if any fan yells at a fan without someone starting something.
Right.
If you're just cheering for your team.
A lot of times people were just having fun with it, though. Half the fun is...
Well, trash talking is different. I mean, like yelling. Like if someone yells at Donna, that person needs to be ejected.
Has a fight ever broken out that you've seen in the stands?
No.
No? Okay.
No.
I just was curious.
I've seen people get ejected, but it's usually either between throwing something they shouldn't or being way too intoxicated. And then the police need to get them out of there.
Well, I sit in a section that's largely the same. We have like a season ticket section, and it's largely the same people every single season. So I imagine that. I mean, you're sitting on the away side, right. So on that side, I imagine it fluctuates a little bit differently with a lot of the guys that are coming and going.
By the way, I don't know exactly what this means, but Jalen Ramsey tweeted out 9 minutes ago. Lauren, I know you can't see it.
Thank you.
Stay tuned for the NHL 2.0, NHL and 2.0 collaboration because he's 2.0.
Nice.
And then the eyes emoji, and then hashtag I love hockey, hashtag nothing but respect.
Well, what happened is
the NHL.
No.
That's what they should have.
And Patrick Subban, who is Predators defenseman, he tweeted at, or not tweeted, but they made a video on Uninterrupted, which is LeBron James, Maverick Carter's new company, and they interviewed Jalen last week, and I guess the hockey world is like all up in arms about what Jalen said, and they're so, these guys pretend to be so tough, but they're so just triggered by what Jalen is saying. So I bet they're going to come out with some kind of training exercise. Hopefully it's after the season, not during the season, because I don't want Jalen getting hurt trying to skate.
I just
I
love.
think
I would
you
love
guys
to
could
see
name
it.
more hockey players than Jalen Ramsey.
I could.
Yes.
I could. Only because my
Go.
kid Only because my kid plays. Henrik
Prove
Lundqvist,
yourself.
Sidney,
All right, that
Sidney
was
Crosby,
I
PK
guarantee he doesn't know
Subban.
any more than
I love that the NHL is talking about Ramsey.
And they should be, the
That's
NHL should be
great.
thanking him, because no one is thinking about the NHL right now in August and September.
By the way, in case anybody wants to know, another MLB pitcher has hand, foot, and mouth.
Oh.
What is
Something going
that?
on in those locker rooms.
I'm sorry.
Does this one have a kid? Who is it?
Brad
Is it kids?
Peacock of the Astros.
Usually the kids bring it home. That's where they get it.
All right, when we come back, Ashlyn Sullivan joins us for a dose of Daly's Place, and we'll give away tonight's Peterbrook Chocolate Heel. That's all next, so keep it right here on 1010XL.
What is hand, foot, and mouth? I feel like I asked this question last
It's a
time.
nasty
Kids,
rash.
it's usually
All
kids
pro.
get it, and it's spread by spit. But it's, you get these sores on the inside of your mouth, and the bottoms of your feet, and the bottoms of your hands.
Damn.
And for adults,
5
it's like extremely painful.
It is
But
now
not for
the
kids?
peak of hurricane season, so make sure your roof is ready by calling All Pro Roofing and Consulting. Lauren Brooks here, and when it comes to hiring a roofer, you want one who won't require any money up front and one who is not going to sub out their crews. That's exactly what you'll get with my friends at All Pro Roofing and Consulting, who have over 25 years of experience. If your roof is in need of repair or if you need a new roof, contact All Pro Roofing and Consulting today at allproroofingllc.com. That's allproroofingllc.com.
Yeah, they had a son in June in 2017, so
Yeah.
Thank
yeah,
you.
that's prime time for getting hand,
That's
foot, and
where
mouth.
he got it.
Yep.
Is it Cap says from Bolt City Brigade, who's the one that organizes all of the away team or away matches for the Jaguars? He said it was the exact opposite as far as fan experience. That fans in Pittsburgh were amazing.
Yes.
Foxborough, by
So,
most accounts, were terrible.
My husband
Oh,
travels
really?
to Pittsburgh for work sometimes, and he's been to 2 Steelers games. And
Then why did we hear
are
all about
very,
the fights?
I heard Pittsburg was
They were really gracious.
Yeah.
I mean,
Really?
Yes. People were not. Again, I think it's look in a stadium, any stadium you're going to
Right.
find.
Pittsburgh's
Yeah.
like kind of rural, more rural
Yeah.
than you think.
Yeah, agreed. But he went and got two of the people he worked with up in Pittsburgh. They bought tickets to. They do these big tailgates where it's like $20 a head. You get a cup, and they have like this whole Thanksgiving spread or whatever. When he went, it's like November when he went, and they were like, "He's a guest. Let him go first." So they let like the
That's
visiting
awesome.
visitors or whatever. So
Oh, no.
plus he was decked out in Steelers gear because he doesn't care about
Right.
having an affiliate.
I'd be like, fuck that, you eat last. It was one of my friend's husband's, or my friend's mother-in-law. It's a big Seahawks fan, so she came in town for the game last year, and we told her she couldn't come to the tailgate.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I was serious.
Damn, good thing I don't want to go to your tailgate. You wouldn't let me there.
Yeah, sorry. No. My brother's ex-girlfriend came in town last weekend, and she wanted to come over because she's a big Giants fan, and she wanted to come over and watch the game with the big watch party, and he told her no. Said no. Mm-mm.
See, I only do it with like rivals. I don't care about any other.
Well, last year it was the Jets game, and it was the one that we lost, and we had a watch party for that one, and there was a Jets fan that was over there, and he was so obnoxious that there was a couple moments during the game of him being obnoxious that I had a beer bottle in my hand, and I thought about smashing it over his head. I really did. And I was like,
can't let a New York fan in. You should know that.
I was like, well, we got this game in the bag. Like, we're good. It's the Jets. Like, I'm riding high. And then he starts talking all this shit, like running around my brother's house, yelling and and
they're going to be insufferable this year.
he's never
if
been
they
invited
keep it up.
back. And we made, like, he's like the Jets rule. Like, this will never happen again. No
Don't blame
away
you.
fans are invited.
I don't blame you there then.
Ashlyn Sullivan. She up next? Yes.
Jags payback.
The Bills.
So at what point does hurricane season end?
November
1st.
Is it first?
I think it's first. I think it starts June 30th and it ends November 1st.
I'm just happy right now we're in the clear.
They might.
Yeah.
They should extend it
June
with
1st
global
and
warming.
November 30th.
Okay, so all of November you're still in.
Yeah, because was it last year that we still had like a tropical storm out there somewhere?
I hope so.
The last 2 years in October, we've had to evacuate, or at least we've been
The last 2 years?
required to evacuate. Well, where I live, we were.
Yeah.
That was Irma this time
wouldn't.
last year.
Yeah.
Yeah, you would.
You would.
Yeah.
What's up?
My cousin who moved down from Pennsylvania, she was like, okay, what do I need to know about hurricanes? And I was like, you don't need to know anything. Brian will pay attention to, because
Don't
he
worry,
surfs.
we'll tell you to get in the car
because he
and
surfs, so
listen.
he pays attention to all of the storms.
things,
Like,
yeah.
it's going to be good swell this week,
Mhm.
so he knows. I was like, trust me, I don't even worry until he tells me to worry, and then, I go get
Yeah.
the water and then figure out our plans.
Yep.
Can't believe all the new head coaches lost.
I know, isn't that terrible?
Wow.
Matt Patricia looked like
Goes
he
to
wanted to
show you.
throw up.
Every time.
I wasn't shocked
Every
by
time-
Gruden. I tried to tell
Every time
y'all that
Stafford
man
kept
is a
coming
fraud.
out, I'm like, why? Why are you bringing him back out? What?
His confidence was shattered.
What?
I don't even know who their backup.
Matt Castle.
Yeah.
Did he
And I'm
play
like,
at all?
Last night. They played him last night.
I'm like, what? Are you waiting for 5 interceptions? And then there goes another interception. I'm like, I'm so
But
confused.
do you know
what
what the
you're doing.
big ticket big ticket concert announcement is? Okay, I didn't know if you knew from the ticketing.
I have my.
Like for next week.
I'm on
or
maternity leave. Don't contact me. Email
True.
response.
What did you say?
For next week. There's
That's what her first thing was. Oh, but I didn't print it. I mean, like, Donna, I didn't print it for you. She only
okay.
sent 2 things: big ticket concert announcement, kickoff concert weekend.
Yeah, all I have is Jag
Concert
questions.
weekend
I
is
don't have no
this
concert
weekend.
questions.
The 3 concerts back to back to back.
That's kickoff concert weekend. But I don't know what big ticket. Concert.
Maybe
I'm
she
just
has
gonna
an
ask her.
announcement.
Maybe. I'm just gonna.
All right, here we go.
I just didn't know if you had inside info.
No.
Ashlyn Sullivan joins us now. Ashlyn, you are 1-0 as digital reporter and host of Jaguars.com. How does that feel?
It feels great. I can't take credit for it, sadly, but it is good to start off with a win, that's for sure.
I think you can absolutely take credit for it, because didn't you pick the Jaguars to beat the Giants?
I did, yes.
All right, so there you go. We'll all take credit
You have
if
to.
we picked it correctly. All right, let's start with a dose of Daly's Place. What can you tell us about the big ticket concert announcement?
Yes, it was just announced the other day. It's presented by 106.5. It's going to be December 1st, and it's going to be a few bands. We're going to have Weezer, Boston the People, and 3 other bands at Daly's Place, and tickets are going to go on sale this Friday at 10 a.m. So it's great that it gives people a lot of variety when they want to come see a concert for one day.
Excellent. And then the kickoff concert weekend gets started. Does it get started Thursday night when I'll be there, or are they going to start it before I get there?
Before, yes, tomorrow is Deep Purple and Judas Priest, and you're going to see Dirk Bentley, Brothers Osborne, and Atlanco on Thursday night, and then to wrap up the weekend, you have Sting and Shaggy joining forces for one concert. So yeah, really busy weekend at Daly's Place, getting everyone excited for home opening weekend.
Did you say Sting and Shaggy?
Yes, quite the combo. I know. When I saw the
This is
announcement,
unique.
I thought it was a mistake, to be honest with you. There's no way, but now seeing them, I've seen some clips of them performing together, and it's really cool. I mean, they do their songs together and their sounds together, so it's pretty cool stuff.
Please tell me that Sting is going to sing It Wasn't Me.
He's got it.
He's
yeah.
got to sing that.
Yeah, it'll be cool.
And Ashlyn, this is kind of a part of the whole tailgating weekend and the festivities in Jacksonville. Daly's Place was really started to have these concerts kind of kick off the weekend, right?
Say that again, I'm sorry?
The Daly's Place concept of having concerts before games was kind of to start the whole weekend of festivities, right?
Right, yeah, they're trying to get that geared up for almost the entire season, booking concerts before home games, trying to get it just a place to be on the weekend, not just on game day, but the entire weekend. Yeah, they're doing it big at home opening weekend, that's for sure.
I love it. All right, now let's get it to the football teams. The Patriots do come in, kick off at 4:25 this Sunday at TIAA Bank Field. What do you expect us to see from this Jaguars offense?
I think the Jaguars offense, it really all depends on whether Leonard Fournette is going to play or not. I think the game plan, they're going to have 2 separate game plans on whether he plays or not. I think if he doesn't play, with that injury, I think you're going to see a lot more screen passes tight end. You're going to see a lot more of Corey Grant. We didn't see much of him at all last week, but if they're only relying on 2 running backs now with TJ Yeldon and Corey Grant, I think you're going to see a lot more from him, which is I think it will excite fans because we've been getting a lot of questions, where the heck is Corey Grant, because he has done so well in the past. So I think it all really boils down to that question, whether Leonard Fournette is able to go with that hamstring injury. But if he's not, I know they're going to have a totally separate game plan that should be successful.
Ashlyn, after the game, we saw a few players on both sides exchange jerseys and take pictures. And I know that the Twitter world kind of had a beef with it. They don't really like it. What was your take on it?
I think it's great. I love seeing the players support each other. We were just talking about it this morning. Calais Campbell has been really vocal on Twitter supporting players getting contracts and watching games. He was talking about Khalil Mack's new contract and how he's falling out. I think it's great because I don't think it's necessary for players on opposing teams to really not like each other. Maybe not during the game, it would be great, but after the game, I mean, everyone hyped up that Odell Beckham Jr. versus Jalen Ramsey matchup, and at the end of the game, they're exchanging jerseys. I think it's all about some mutual respect for each other. You don't have to necessarily like each other's personalities and like each other as a whole, but if you have mutual respect for each other in the game you guys are playing, then I have no problem with it.
You had an interview earlier in the week with Dante Fowler, and this will be his first game back after serving the 1-game suspension. So what should fans expect from him this weekend?
He seems to have, I don't want to say grow up is the wrong term, but seems to have a new fire under him. I mean, he played so well in that AFC Championship game against the Patriots. I think we're going to see a huge week from him. He just seems to have a new focus about him. Maybe it's the off-the-field stuff that he went through. Maybe that's behind him. We all hope it is. But it just seems like he has a new fire with him this season.
Ashlyn, what happens Sunday when the Patriots come to town?
I think the Jaguars can pull it off. I think that this defense is so dominant, and they're so focused. We've heard so many players say, we had a 10-point lead in the AFC Championship game, and it's the defense's fault that they didn't make it happen. We hear that from the defense itself. So I think you're going to see a similar game plan where they're going to rely heavily on that defense. I think if there's a lead with the Jaguars are going to protect that lead. Also, I think home factor has a huge factor in it. I mean, if the Jaguars played that well in Foxborough in the playoffs, to have that home field advantage, I think is going to make a difference.
And one player, Ashlyn, that honestly I'm not sure if he gets enough credit is kicker Josh Lambo. 2 for 2. If he wasn't 2 for 2, Jaguars don't necessarily have as good of a chance to win that game. What do you think about him?
I think he's been fantastic, and he really is a guy that just grinds in silence and is successful. The thing about kickers is you don't really talk much about them until they start performing poorly, and then all of a sudden that's all you focus on. So Josh Lambo, I actually did an event with him about 2 months ago, and he was asked, when you have these big kicks and the game's on the line, do you feel the pressure? Does the pressure get to you? And he looks at me and he goes, Ashlyn, pressure's for the unprepared. And leaves it at that, and drops the mic and walks off the stage. He's just so focused and cares so much about his success that he grinds in silence, and I've always been really impressed with him.
Yeah, and I've always said that if you can be a kicker at in a Major League Soccer program on a Major League Soccer team, or not a kicker, but a keeper, then you can understand the pressure when it's one-on-one.
Yeah, and he said before, soccer, the game of soccer is just, it's all about pressure, especially when you're a goalkeeper. So he definitely knows how to deal with the pressure of being an NFL kicker.
All right, well, let's hope on Sunday it doesn't come down to a Josh Lambo field goal, that the Jaguars have enough of a lead that his leg is not that important. Thanks so much for joining us tonight, Ashlyn.
Of course. See you guys this weekend.
All right, yes, ma'am. It is the Jaguars v. Patriots on Sunday. That is Ashlyn Sullivan, digital reporter and host of Jaguars.com. All right, JJ, take it away. All right, I'm going to say that one's kind of easy. First person to text into the 1010XL text line driven by Duval Ford wins tonight's Peterbrook Chocolate Heel. That is 641-1010. You want one of those Peterbrook Chocolate Heels this time of year. Oh, so delicious. All right.
I think I should get to sample one because I'm new.
I absolutely think you should. And you know what? I found out today we are getting a new shipment.
Perfect.
Very soon. So
I'll make sure they're not poisoned. So I will take one for the team and make sure they're
sacrifice yourself.
Yes, well enough to give out to the listeners.
And they make the white chocolate, dark chocolate, and milk chocolate.
What?
So we have to test all three.
Yeah, I don't necessarily recommend bringing it to a tailgate. I don't know if
It'll
you really
melt.
want to share it.
I love frozen chocolate.
Ew.
Yeah, put it in your freezer.
No, don't ooh. You take a candy bar and stick it in the freezer, a Hershey's bar, and Reese's peanut butter cups in the freezer. That's what's up.
I'm anti-cold desserts. Like that.
I was going to say ice cream?
Well, no, yeah. I love ice cream. I had ice cream last night.
All right, Blythe, Ashlyn was one of the people that you interviewed in this recent edition of Void magazine, correct?
Yeah, Void usually puts out, and before I don't know if a lot of people know, but before I ever started in radio, I was editor-in-chief at Void magazine, which is a local, like, North Florida culture and lifestyle magazine. And every year, they usually put out a Jaguars issue, but after the success of last season, they bumped up the Jags issue to the end of this past season. So I think it was February or March that they did a full Jaguars issue, which was fantastic. So this year's issue, they couldn't do the same thing, so what they decided to do was do a strength and sports issue. And the theme of the whole issue is really centered around women and their roles within sports all over the First Coast. And so what you have is you have like a female wrestler that's featured in there. You have women who work for the Icemen and the Shrimp, and then you have a three-page spread with women in sports broadcasting who have local Jacksonville ties. So I got a chance to talk with Alyssa Lang, Jessica Blaylock, Mackenzie Thurkill, Kelly Hawkins, all these women who work in sports media and broadcasting, and sort of got to tie it all together with our show, which is it definitely is unique as far as the whole country is concerned. And credit to 1010 for giving a platform to women in order to voice, not just read the news, but voice their opinions. And that was really sort of the goal of this article is how do you grow in your sports broadcasting career? How do you balance that role of reading the news versus giving your opinion, and where do you see sort of the industry going? And my only regret about this article is that it wasn't longer, and you're sort of limited as far as the print world is concerned. But all of these women had so many great stories to tell, and we're going to have some bonus video interviews coming soon on that. But obviously you ladies work in sports media broadcasting, you have for several years. But I wanted to kind of get y'all's perspective on, what's the most challenging situation you've ever faced as far as working in sports media, and what did you learn from it?
I think just getting into the door. I think that was the first, because when I first started here at 1010, there were no females. And the station was about a year old. And I remember sitting down with the then manager, and the questions to me were just so stupid.
Didn't he ask you like what the Stanley Cup was or something?
Yeah, that was his first question. If you can't tell me what this is, then you can just walk out of the room. I'm like,
who asked you this?
He's no longer here.
Oh, somebody. Okay.
Yes.
She would not.
And I looked at him like,
did I miss the name that we threw someone under the bus?
I looked at him like, he asked me, what color is the sky? Because I'm like, are you talking about the Stanley Cup? Okay, then we can continue. Like, really?
You got to pop
like
quiz
that's
before
how.
even.
So it was just getting in the front door, and being able to be like, yeah, I'm a girl that likes sports and knows sports. So
yeah,
but that's it.
This is my third sports talk station to work for. I worked for two in the Tulsa area. The first one, I was the first female to do anything at all at that place. And when my time there came to an end, it was really kind of controversial for me personally, because my boss at the time called me in and said, we can't have you be on air as much anymore. And I said, why? And he goes, I don't really know. And couldn't give me a reason, and even said the words, I don't think it's because you're a woman though. And I thought, and scene. So they wanted me to stay on as the producer, and I said, no, I kind of, when you hired me, I kind of told you what my dreams and aspirations were, and if you're taking away my voice, not based on any complaints or anything, then I'll be miserable sitting behind the microphone, to where I had earned my place a year and a half into this. And so I think the scariest thing for me was walking away and not having somewhere else to go. And I knew I wanted to do something next, because Tulsa didn't have very many options, and then this new station presented itself. I will say this, once you can get established, and once people recognize, and 1010 does a great job of doing this, recognizing that women don't have to be typecast in roles that are traditionally filled by women in sports, then it opens a whole new area. And it's amazing that Helmets and Heels provides that. It is so unique, and it's opinion based, and it's not us reporting on the news or reporting on the sports of the day and then walking out of here. It's giving your opinion on what happens, because it's still such a small market that women are able to actually do that. And I, for one, try not to take that for granted every day.
Yeah, I think the hardest part is twofold. One, getting projects and very quickly having to be able to digest information that you've never really paid attention to before. And so whether you're thrown into a sideline and you've never covered those teams, or you're thrown into a television stage and they say, okay, this is what you're going to do, ready, set, go. I'm somebody who I like to over-prepare and sometimes overthink, but I still like to be fully prepared. It's how I always was in school. And so in this world, there is no such thing. If breaking news happens, you have to be able to react. And so that's a challenge that I find. But as far as like overall, I think having to work through and kind of wait your turn and watch other people succeed while you're still kind of in the background, that was always really hard for me, because I always was taught, if you work really hard, you'll be, one of the best ones in whatever job it is. And that's not necessarily how it is. If you're not great on air at the beginning, they're not necessarily going to give you that microphone. And you have to earn your stripes, especially in small companies. And I think people take for granted that, right, we have a show where we get to do this on a weekly basis, where so many other, not just women, but guys too, are grinding and toiling, and they've never gotten that opportunity.
That's interesting to take, because that was one of the tips. I think it was Alyssa Lang that said that she has to be what's called a multimedia journalist, and she has to write her script, she has to do the video editing, she has to shoot it herself, and that she's commonly seen, was commonly seen walking around Everbank, or now TIAA Bank Field, and she's carrying the camera and she's carrying all of her gear, and she's responsible for that 2-minute clip that you see on a news broadcast is probably just took 3 hours of work, and then she had to spend 4 hours in like the Jacksonville heat and humidity, and their hair is a mess and her makeup is a mess, but she has to go on camera and deliver and be presentable, and that's the...
And she'll be judged just as all women are, more harshly, I believe, than a lot of the men do, right? It's especially with the TV side of things. Guys can, up until a certain point, look just about any way they like, but women, there's usually a specific way they all look, and it's thin, and it's hair and makeup, and everything looks perfect, when in reality, we're all humans and we have our flaws, and unfortunately we're judged on them more harshly than men are.
Definitely.
All right, when we come back, we will get it back to NFL and college football. You're listening to Helmets and Heels, built by Dreamfinders Homes on 1010XL.
Make Monday feel like game day.
Thank goodness for radio.
Don't need to look like anything. Sorry, JJ, we went way over.
That's fine.
See, I like Tuesday show because it's the one time a week I put on my hair and makeup.
Next break?
Yeah.
Okay.
All Pro Roofing?
Yes.
Lambeau's a free agent after this season? I didn't know that.
Well, since he came mid-season last year, it may have been a weird deal.
I wonder where he came. Where did he come from?
Chargers. Because remember, they had just released him and he kicked the game-winning field goal in overtime.
Oh, yeah.
It was glorious. Donna, are these all your water bottles?
No.
There's 3 water bottles.
Marno said that they brought the Chick-fil-A person.
Oh, okay.
Are they? Can we drink them?
Yep.
Oh, excellent.
I got no chicken.
JJ, there's food in. Is there food in here?
No. There's cookies. You want cookies? I don't know if y'all want any of these cookies.
Donna, do I have your number?
No, that's not what I wanted. I don't know. But you're more than welcome to put it in.
Goodness.
Oh, that's not what I wanted to do.
What are you trying to turn it on? Oh.
Only when I'm on MLB tonight.
Yeah, you good. That's it.
You got it.
I want to go up one to get the HD.
Yeah, you good on that one.
Yeah, this is cool. I think it's really well done.
They've always had really great design, and honestly, I really miss working for them, but it's just, print is so tough.
Tell me about Hoptinger.
Oh, it's a great place. They actually own it. Well, the co-founders of Void are also shared investors for Hoptinger.
Okay.
There's one in the beaches, there's one in Riverside. They have a great brunch, bottomless mimosas, and you can get no orange juice and just get straight champagne as far as your mimosas are concerned.
This looks like French toast with chocolate sauce and bacon.
Yeah.
And strawberries.
Their food is incredible.
That looks amazing.
It's like
I'm not
upscale
even
bar
a big
food, to be
breakfast
honest.
person, and that looks really good.
They had the one in Riverside. They have a rooftop bar too, so you can. I don't think you can order
Riverside?
food.
Where is that considered? Where, I mean,
Like west of downtown.
west of downtown.
Yeah.
Okay.
But those are the
Is it
Riverside
own
and the
area.
kind of. It's kind of like when people say the beaches, but they're really referring to like Jack's Beach. So like Jack's Beach and Riverside areas are like, it's not like a city, but it's just an area.
Is it near the landing or is that?
It's across the river.
Okay.
So the landing's on one side of the
I wake up
river, and then
sweating.
Riverside's on the other side.
Got it.
I walked in the other day and it was the morning, Michelle.
But like culturally, like those are the two hot spots of the city. That's where you'll find the best restaurants, the best drinks, like those two spots, and it's all local. They put a very big stressor
that
on
they
like
found a kitten.
locally sourced. There's even some places like
I saw they found a
like the
kitten.
bottles and
Kyle
the salt
adopted
shakers that they
a kitten.
use are
That's
all
what he
locally
said.
sourced.
Yeah.
So
I
they
was
put a
like,
big emphasis on it.
That's cool.
I'm surprised.
Yeah, that made me happy.
It's free mag, so it's
But,
released
I mean,
every
it was
month.
a really cute kitten. You probably saw the picture, right? Really cute kitten.
Too bad Amanda wasn't here.
Yeah.
Who took the
Didn't
kitten?
they tell us,
Kyle?
Brooke, didn't they tell us that it was free to get into this thing? The web doc, when we went?
Yeah,
wasn't the
they're
guy
providing, I think, free Web is providing free grounds tickets. Is what I thought they said.
Which is amazing. I mean, like, I don't know that people, they think, because if spectators want to go, they basically can just sign up and go.
Huh.
Is that right?
I don't even know if they have to sign up. I think they
go.
just show up.
Yeah.
Damn, I didn't know
Then
that.
obviously like food and beverage and
Right,
all that.
but
if you want,
Is that this
tickets-
weekend?
It's
No.
next week.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's next week.
Next.
Thursday,
Past this week,
Friday.
Titans
Is that
next
next
week.
week?
I gotta stay
We
focused.
have a remote out there.
Yeah, I knew
Chalk will
that
be out there
part.
Thursday and Friday.
Yeah, that's right. That is next week. I keep thinking next week's in the teens because it is.
Oh, yeah.
But
Oh, right, because it starts out that way.
yeah. Yeah. I want to go on Friday after the show.
Mm-hmm.
Where are y'all? Thursday there?
I think we're there Thursday and Friday.
Oh, nice.
Yep. I had a house cleaner come today.
So great.
And I'm not really like
A house what?
a
Cleaner.
housekeeper come.
Do you clean before the house cleaner gets there?
Well, I pick the stuff up because
Yeah.
and hardly anybody will like do that for you. But I made like I made a vow a long time ago. I was like, I'm done. I'm not coming home from working all day and cleaning toilets. I am not doing it. And if we can afford it and make it work in the budget, and all I'm asking for is once a month, like a deep clean.
Yeah.
Or I mean, whatever.
Yeah, it's reasonable.
And one of my neighbors was like, oh, we just used the cleaning authority. So they were there today for almost 4 hours. Because their first initial clean, they do like
The deep clean.
the scrubbing of all the scrubbings. So anyway,
That's awesome.
Daniel called me, he's like, so they just left one. I'm like, don't screw it up before you.
Is
I mean,
your
I was
house
nice.
still spotless? Is
I
your
used
house
to
still
clean
spotless?
houses. That shit is
Did you?
not.
No.
It's not easy.
No, it's not. And I'm not
There's
like
no way you
afraid of
can wait
manual
to clean
labor,
right
but that
now.
was like,
I keep
Yeah,
forgetting.
I think I was 24 at the time doing it. I made good money,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
at the same time, like you
There's
killed your
certain
back.
things I'm
Say that
like,
again,
I'd
sorry?
rather just.
If I go into
I'll-
labor,
Yeah.
and someone has to come to the house, I at least
Yeah.
want it.
That's
Organized.
that's goals.
Okay.
Let's get a house cleaner.
Yes. Oh.
It may not be dusted, but it's organized.
The guidance update.
Alright,
I'm gonna hiccup. Sorry.
Get your gaiters on 1010XL.
You're listening to Helmets and Heels, built by Dreamfinders Homes
Presented by Underwood Jewelers and American Window Products.
on 1010XL, 92.5 FM.
Welcome back into Helmets and Heels, built by Dreamfinders Homes. Donna Murphy, Lauren Rue, and Lauren Brooks, and I'm Blythe Brumleaf. And this weekend was the first sort of official, I think, college football weekend. It's, we had the Labor Day weekend where it's, the games all spread out over the first, 4 days or whatever. And then this weekend was the first, real college game day experience. You got a whole lineup of games. So I'm settling in for a weekend of football, and I'm pretty pumped about it. And then I started watching throughout Saturday, and I was bored out of my mind on Saturday, with the exception of one game, Clemson, Texas A&M. The rest of the games were all blowouts. And then, by the end of Sunday, I'm watching a full slate of NFL games, and I didn't want to go to sleep. Like, I didn't want that Bears-Packers game to end. It was so much fun on NFL Sunday. And so I was a little frustrated over my wasted Saturday that I spent in front of the television, and I tweeted out, as one does, my frustrations about, I felt that the NFL, the viewing experience and the entertainment value and the parity in the NFL is significantly better than the college game. But I also thought that you guys are obviously, the Laurens, are huge college football fans. So what am I missing as far as the college experience is concerned? I was bored out of my mind on Saturday, and my team won.
Well, the first weekend honestly was a better slate than this past weekend. So I think you would have been more entertained if you had tuned in that first weekend. But overall, for me, it's a passion about not just one entity. Like, it's not just Florida that I'm passionate about. I love the pageantry of almost every single big matchup in college football. So yes, there are going to be blowouts, but like, I was riveted by Georgia, South Carolina. I was having
a blowout.
But I was still having a blast watching that game.
Are you intently watching? Or do you have like things going on, like maybe by the pool or by the beach, or you intently because I was sitting in front of the television like intently watching, and I'm like, I'm bored.
Yeah, I mean, we were at a friend's house, so the game's on, we're watching and we're talking about the game, so I guess that's intently, but it's a different watching than how I watch a Jaguars game, because with a Jaguars game I'm trying to remember everything to talk about it. I'm not going to have to break down UCLA, Oklahoma like that, but I am absolutely enjoying myself so much watching all that, but I'm also enjoying myself on Sunday too. So for me, I'm just excited. I can enjoy myself watching a high school football game. I just love the game of football.
I think something that also gets lost in this, especially the first couple of weeks, is there is no preseason with college football. There aren't the duds, the games that are scheduled in that don't count. All these games count. For every single game counts for these teams. And to start off the non-conference, there are going to be some really lopsided, boring games. For me personally, because I grew up in a college football first town, because I went to a school where the university was the center of said town.
The universe.
Yeah, exactly. College football, it was kind of a first love for me. I mean, I loved everything about it. But also the Dallas Cowboys were also a first love for me. So I've always had kind of a mutual interest in both. College football is an opportunity for most of those guys won't go on to do anything else. There's the upsets that happen, the oh my God moments, the kicker who's a walk-on who is 28 years old because he's grew up in Australia and he's come over and he has eligibility. I mean, the crazy storylines that you don't get traditionally in the NFL, because it's a business and it's about making money and putting good products out on the field. Now, the NCAA absolutely, and college football is a business as well. Don't get that part.
Yeah, because that was what a couple fans were saying. Well, the college game is significantly better because the players don't get paid. I'm like, let's not sit here and pretend these coaches ain't out here trying to get paid.
Right. No, I mean the money factor is still there, but I think I can appreciate both. I really do. I mean, there's NFL games that are boring to me. That are
Bills Ravens.
Terrible. I mean, absolutely that one was a terrible.
But I would watch that game and have fun. See, none of those college games were fun to me.
Okay, if I don't have a direct tie to, as in I don't have to talk about whatever game it is for work the next week, and it's not competitive, and it's 8 o'clock at night, and I want to watch something else, I'll turn on something DVR or flip to Netflix. Versus, it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon, it's college football Saturday, we'll flip and we'll find a game and we'll jump from this screen to this screen and that screen, and is Florida playing? Oh, they don't play till tonight. Okay, good. Florida State, all right, check. What time does Oklahoma State play? Because obviously personal rooting interest, and then I just kind of roll with it. But when it comes like nighttime, and if there's not a game that interests me, for both the NFL or college football, then I'll just kind of go, you want to watch something else that doesn't.
That was my frustration. I was like, I just wasted my entire Saturday watching a bunch of blowouts.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's part of it. I can't offer. as conference play goes on,
Yeah.
and some of those matches hopefully won't be. Now, look, if you're a fan of the SEC East, you can forget about it because Georgia's going to roll everybody. But the SEC West should be entertaining. I like the idea of getting on Twitter and somebody being like, get to fill in the blank right now. Get to CBS right now. Appalachian
Because of all
State
the
is
games
about
going on.
to, whatever. And you're like, oh my God, this is crazy. So that's kind of where I stand with it.
Yeah, I've always thought there's a different level of passion when it comes to both sports. They are equally passionate, but the fan
Are
bases
you from here? Where
Yeah,
you
born and
from?
raised.
Okay, and Donna, you're from?
Rhode Island.
You're from, okay, not college football towns.
No, and that was
there's
another.
proximity for you, right? I mean, there's teams that you could choose to root for.
No, but
I literally grew up in
Jacksonville's a
Fayetteville.
big college football town. I mean, there's massive teams.
It's just
in
not
this
a-
area.
Right, it's not a college football first town anymore because the Jags are here. I mean, there's no.
It's a bigger city than like Gainesville, Tallahassee.
Okay, right.
Those small
right.
towns where the
But
college.
I
most
literally
people
grew
live
up
there
in
because of the
Fayetteville,
college.
where the University of Arkansas is, and I went to Oklahoma State in Stillwater, where there's nothing outside of those two. As far as rooting interest, that's what Anyway, so for me, it was kind of what was on and what your parents did, cheered for, and it was fun, and it was tailgates, and let's go watch the game and whatever. So.
Well, and it's hard to compare like the Jaguars to a team, let's say like Stanford, Oklahoma, Michigan, Ohio State. I'll use non-SEC or ACC teams. Those schools have so much tradition.
Yeah.
The Jaguars have a little bit amount of tradition, but this second wave of Jaguars fans that are now growing into, especially the ones who are paying attention now.
This should be a big league town. I mean, you got a big league NFL team.
That's going to develop into the same passion that I think other families have had for certain schools, the affinity for certain schools, right? Like when I was born, both my parents, my aunt and uncle, all went to Florida. So I grew up going to Gator games. Jaguars didn't come around until we were in middle school. So I missed the same amount of time being a Jaguars fan as I was a Gators fan and going actually to Gainesville. I have developed the exact same amount of passion for the Jaguars as I have for Florida, and I think people can have both. I just think for some reason people get really one-sided or the other, and I think if you're a diehard NFL fan, you at some point have to appreciate the college game because that's where your next star is going to be.
Yeah, but my thing is more from just an entertainment value. Like, I can watch the majority of NFL games and be highly entertained. With the college game, I'm not.
What entertains
Maybe
you about
because
the
you
NFL?
know more of the players?
Well, it's the best of the best. I know more of the storylines. There's greater parity in the NFL. I mean, in college, outside of a handful of teams, you have zero shot at winning a national championship. And to me as a fan, like, why even pay attention? Like, why spend your Saturdays supporting a school when you know that if you're not Ohio State, if you're not Georgia, if you're not Alabama, you have zero shot at winning a national championship?
Well, there are other teams that certainly have a shot.
But a handful max.
But there's
max.
probably
It's about beating your rival. It's about winning
16.
your conference.
Yeah, there's other
there's so
things
much
out.
more.
Yeah.
I mean, when in college football, the games are so much more important. It doesn't matter if you're like in a lower conference or whatever. You only have 11 games, 12 games.
4
if you
years.
lose one, if Clemson loses against Texas A&M on Saturday, their season could be potentially over. In the NFL, you lose 7 games, you go to the playoffs.
Yeah.
I mean, there's
some bad
passion
teams that
around
make
it.
the playoffs
The
in the
games
NFL.
aren't nearly as important in the NFL until you get to
Yeah,
late
the regular
season.
season in the NFL.
But what's the
And entertainment-wise, the offenses in college are always like goofy, crazy. There's always off-the-wall stuff. Of course, there's more blowouts because there is, bigger
Talent
teams
disparity,
playing. Yes,
yeah.
but there's also a bazillion games on. You can choose to find not a blowout. I mean, college football, entertainment-wise, I would say, is above and beyond better than the NFL because parity makes everybody equal, and that doesn't necessarily mean it's better.
But it gives you a chance for hope, and hope translates for a lot of different fan bases, not just for your own. And if the college game, to me, if the games are so important week in and week out, I mean, you lose one, again, what's the point of watching for the rest of the season if you've lost a game and you know you're not one of those 5 teams?
Because I think that's
you were a season ticket holder when you knew the Jaguars weren't going to win the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So someone could say, you knew your team wasn't going to win. Why support them? But that's the question you're asking.
But that's also the part of tradition that college fans always sort of go back to. There's a tradition in the NFL too that you can go and and I got into a sort of a debate with this other guy last night that you arguably as an NFL fan you have to support your team over any players and I think that's part of the story with a lot of college teams is that you support the good stories and the good players, but with the NFL you have to support your team more than anything because those players can leave and walk out the door and go to another team and that was a big sort of I guess turning point
but
as far as
support your school even if the quarterback transfers, which happens all the time nowadays. You never
they're
leave
only
your
there
school.
a maximum of 4 years anyway, so,
Right.
so it's always constantly turning over.
But I mean, in the end, I'm just glad it's football season. That's all I have to say. All right, when we come back, we're going to get it back to the Jaguars and to fat ball season. That's all next to us in the Helmets and Heels, built by Dreamfinders Homes on 1010XL.
Number 4, Ohio State at number 15, TCU. Our college football game of the week brought to you by Carefree Boat Club of Jacksonville. Instant key.
Wrong way.
It is now the peak of hurricane season, so make sure your roof is ready by calling All Pro Roofing and Consulting. Lauren Brooks here, and when it comes to hiring a roofer, you want to make sure you find one that you can trust, one who won't require any upfront deposits, and one who is not going to sub out their crews. And that's why you should call my friends at All Pro Roofing and Consulting, who have over 25 years of experience. If your roof is in need of repair or if you need a new roof, contact All Pro at allproroofingllc.com. All Pro Roofing and Consulting is a family-owned company and part of the Lloyd's family of businesses. Online at allproroofingllc.com.
CBS put out none of the NFL coaches from the Belichick tree has a winning record.
No, I jumped on you. Don't worry about it.
Not one.
Wait, which one?
None of the NFL coaches from the Belichick tree have a winning record. Cornell never
he's not
did
trying to
mention.
pass them or turn them into
He's still coaching?
No. But like he's going with what their records were.
Whoa.
You know? That tree was more like a dying cactus. That's funny. That's funny. Guys can root for Marshall this weekend if you want. They're playing South Carolina.
I saw that. You're on TV. It's on ESPN.
I know, right? When is Marshall ever on TV?
Woo! When did they get a football team back?
They've always had one.
Not the Marshalls, but the
plane crash.
Yeah.
That one.
they didn't get rid of football for a little while?
Nope. You gotta watch the movie, sweetheart.
I do need to watch the movie.
Nope. Many people wanted them not to, but they did.
Is Matthew McConaughey going to be in a new movie?
Yes.
Yeah,
My boy Ricky?
Yeah.
Yes.
It looks good.
Is that okay? It does look good. I never see movies, but I saw
I think
a
it looks
glimpse
good. I
of
don't
Matthew
know.
McConaughey, and then I saw the title, and I was like, I'm never gonna remember that, but I need to remember. Matthew
Because of the plane crash, Marshall was the school that
Did it kill the whole team, right?
Yeah, they broke. Well, obviously, except for the ones that weren't on the plane. A couple of them weren't.
Okay.
They were injured. But
that didn't make the trip to wherever they were going.
right, because they were coming back.
Commercial flight? Or was it was it like a?
Yeah, I think it was a
they were on
regular
flight with like other people.
Yeah.
Or was it just the team?
No, I think it was just the team. Team, reporters, coaches.
Had it been in
but-
the 70s?
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't even like flying now. Like imagine back then.
Oh,
Yeah.
I know, right? All I can think
Smoking
of is
cigarettes next to you
Yes.
playing and stuff.
But because of that, they got the NCAA to allow them to have freshmen play. So that,
JV.
yeah, so now that you see freshmen can play, it's because of what happened with Marshall.
Really?
It was a rule.
And they had football the next season. Holy cow. You're right, I didn't know.
Yep.
I just assumed. They're the Marshall Great
Thundering Herd.
of what?
The herd, a buffalo. The Thundering Herd.
Oh.
That's what they are. Marshall Thundering Herd.
Okay, gotcha. Well, I didn't know what they were a herd of.
Yep. Herd of buffalo.
Buffalo.
They are.
Why do you like Marshall?
My brother went there.
Where is that?
Milton, West Virginia.
I thought it was like someplace random.
Or Huntington, I'm sorry. Huntington.
I wouldn't have known the difference.
My bad. But my brother went there, and he's a cop for them, as well as the city of Milton. So we cheer for them, because we're not a college football family. So
you didn't watch a lot of college on Saturday? No.
I never did. No. I mean, we
last
were...
weekend, you said, though.
I've been watching it. Yeah, I'll find, like, I agree. But I'll go on my phone and go on the CBS Sports app and be like, which one's close? That one's close. Let's go find that one. Like
I remember
Ball State.
Yeah.
That matchup last, Saturday.
I was scrolling through, like, because ESPN on the Watch app, they have all the scores. And I was like, I just want to see the ratio of, like, blowout losses in a college compared to NFL.
Right.
And before Monday night, it was night and day. Like, I think there was only one 10-plus points or more victory in the NFL on Sunday, and then there was only 2 games on the Watch ESPN app on college that were within 10 points, and I think it was Florida, Kentucky, and then Clemson.
Like, I always look to see who's ranked, and then what the score is, and then afterwards, if I'm like, all right, seriously, there's nothing.
I felt like I wasted my day. I was like,
I watched all of
this again.
I watched all of Jack Ryan. That was great.
That is such a good show.
I got one more episode. One more episode. It's really good, though.
There's only 8 episodes?
Yeah. 7 or 8? I thought it was only 7.
8.
I don't know. I watched it all in one day.
I haven't done Ozark yet. Season 2.
I heard that's really good.
Yeah, I haven't gotten to see the second one yet.
I didn't see, I think it was Dan Patrick.
I have a hard time taking Jim serious. Do you?
Who?
No, I'd like it. He's hot. He's really hot. I was like, just keep talking.
Football season is not the time of the year to be on a diet, ladies and gentlemen. It is nearly impossible with the tailgates, with the office food that gets brought in, with the excitement. People love to eat when they're happy, and there's fun things. It brings us all together, right? Well, I found myself on Saturday and Sunday. The previous weekend was Labor Day weekend. My sister was in town. We did a lot of shopping. We did some things for the house. So I did not get to commit my Saturday to college football. This Saturday, I more than made up for it when I pigged out, essentially. I made chili dogs. I grilled some hot dogs, and then, like, chili from a can, that's right. I am from Arkansas originally, so cut me some slack there. With onions and with cheese. I was so mad because I didn't realize I didn't have mustard until I was like halfway through the thing, but whatever. And then queso, right? And then I had some Michelob Ultras because I was watching my calorie intake, my carb intake from the beer. It's like when somebody orders like a Big Mac meal and they're like, oh, and I'll have the Diet Coke because that'll save the calories. Anyway, the point being, when 8 or 9 o'clock rolled around and I'm wondering if Florida State's going to survive against Samford, knowing we have to get up early for the Sawyer Desk kickoff show Sunday morning, I thought, I don't even want to know how many calories I consumed. But then I told myself, it's football season. This is how it works. This is part of it. So my question to you ladies, I know Blythe last week we talked about tailgate themes and certain things and the jungle juice or the Jaguar juice that you have and things like that.
It's really good.
But your go-to, if you're invited to a party or you're having a watch party, the one thing I have to have for college football Saturday or NFL Sunday, pick your poison, what is it, Lauren Brooks?
If someone else is making it, then I love deviled eggs and boiled peanuts.
Okay, I've not had boiled peanuts yet since I've lived here. And deviled eggs I usually only say for Thanksgiving, but please continue.
Most people, and that's why I love them so much because they're kind of a rarity. So anytime I get them, and my mom's friend has the most adorable deviled egg carrier, and it's the 2-layer, the double-decker one, and puts the right amount of paprika, fantastic. And she also makes boiled peanuts, so she's always one we invite to everything.
By the way, you can go to any gas station.
I know. I've seen them.
Cajun style. Just make sure you get Cajun style.
See, and I don't like Cajun style at all. Okay. I want just I just want the straight salt. But I would say let someone make them for you because I think they're better
versus just
the gas station.
Really? I love the gas station peanuts.
But maybe it's because you like the Cajun, so maybe that's the difference. I don't know.
Or roadside. Anytime I've tasted,
absolutely.
Yeah, anytime I've tasted someone or peanuts that somebody else has cooked, I'm like, this ain't the same. Ain't the same.
But if I have to make something and bring it to a party. My mom always made for college football Saturdays like the 7-layer fiesta dip, and very simple and delicious. She would ground
a crowd favorite at times.
Ground the ground beef and then have the refried beans and then the lettuce and the sour cream and the tomatoes and the cheese, and it was delicious. I hope that's 7 layers. And that's what I would make with, of course, tortilla chips.
Donna?
Queso.
Yes.
Just give me a...
Are you a Rotel, can Rotel and Velveeta?
Oh, yeah.
A what?
The can Rotel Velveeta combination?
Yeah, well, I mean, that's going to... But I'm just open up the can of Tostinos.
We did that.
That's already pre-made and pop it in the microwave.
Yes.
You know, that's...
We're at Publix. It was buy one, get one free this weekend, by the way.
See, oh, man, I missed that one. Yeah.
Rotel will change your life.
It is good. There's nothing.
That involves more steps.
It's the worst. Cheese dip in a crock pot or in a pot is like the biggest pain in the ass to clean.
Yeah.
Or like go to a restaurant and get queso and then you're done. You don't have to make it, and it's delicious.
Yeah. But there's something about Rotel, you're right.
Yeah, definitely Rotel and everything. Even my eggs, I'll just open up a jar of Rotel and just keep it, put it in a little Tupperware, and mix it in with a lot of different food items. Honestly, I'll eat anything as far as tailgates are concerned. This past Sunday, we skipped the New York themed food and we said went for a taco bar. This weekend, though, we're doing picanhas, we're doing lobster tails, and a lot of like different like public sides, so like macaroni salad, Hawaiian sweet rolls, all that good stuff. But the picanha is what I'm super pumped about.
I'm gonna have to explain.
It's kind of like a sirloin. It's like a Brazilian style. I guess it's more famous in like Brazil. It's like a.
Is that for like Tom Brady's wife?
I did think about that, but no, we've actually had this meal planned for like 4 months. This is what we were going to have at this particular tailgate. So we got, I think, 2 picanhas going, which is sort of like a sirloin. I think it's like called a rump round more commonly, but it's really, really good. And my buddy Jared, he cooks it up for all of us, and so we'll have that. My dad's going to get lobster tails. We're going to have a little shrimp cocktail. So this is the first game of the year is when we usually do like steak and lobster. And then we'll also do steak and lobster if it's a playoff game, which we experienced last year.
Nice, very good. All right, hoping that the Jaguars get to the playoffs and even further than they did last year. And the plan was to really rely offensively on Leonard Fournette. To the opening game, where we all saw the tweak of the hamstring, Doug Marrone tells us that he was told that the location of said tweak is not a big deal, whatever that means. His
in
words.
A good part.
In a good part.
I didn't know there were multiple parts of the hamstring.
Apparently so.
I just thought
it was just the long thing. Now, here's my question. If you get to make the call, ladies, and you get to decide whether Leonard Fournette plays or not, and the doctors say, yeah, I mean, he's pretty good, and he's itching to go because he wants to get back out there, it's game 2. And maybe you're kind of considering not playing him, or maybe you're saying, all right, if he says he's okay and the doctors say it's okay, then it's the Patriots and let's do this. Which way are you going?
If he's anything less than 85%, he doesn't need to play. As much as emotionally I want the Jaguars to beat the Patriots, as much as emotionally I think the entire city wants revenge, at the same time, I would way rather be sitting in Jacksonville in January and hosting the AFC Championship game, whether it be against the Patriots or any other team, with Leonard Fournette on the sideline, or not sidelined, and actually on the field. This postseason matters so much more to me than just one game. Even though, yes, as fans, we all have it circled on the calendar. We've had the tailgates planned. We've had Miles Jack wasn't down in our heads for months. But at the same time, it's not about one game. So as much as I want the Jaguars to win, I would way rather have a 13-3 football team at the end of the season headed to the postseason than win this game.
No, you need to rest him for the fact of it's the hamstring, and the hamstring will bother him all season. So he can come back one game and then miss 2 games. Come back 2 games, miss 2 more games. I'd rather sit him until he says he's 100%.
See, I'm the exact opposite. I think if the doc says he can go, if he wants to go, you put him out there. And you can't take cautionary. I would put it at a percentage base. If it's anything, maybe less than, I don't know, 75%, because none of these guys are playing fully healthy. And we're not going to expect him to be fully healthy throughout the entire season. I don't think Leonard Fournette has ever had a fully healthy season where he's played every single game.
Well, and I think that's also something worth considering as well. He's at times been labeled as kind of an injury type guy. I mean, you hope that he sheds that persona.
But he missed 3 games last year, and the Jaguars won all of those games and I think they still had a strong rushing game for each of those games. And so if the doc says he can go and he wants to go.
We will be waiting patiently as Sunday arrives, and we'll wait to find out what his status will be for that game. Do they win without him, Blythe?
Yes.
Donna?
You could stop the question earlier and just say, will the Jaguars win? Question mark. You don't even have to ask her the Fournette.
I mean, it's this defense is just so damn scary, man. It's so scary. So I think it's gonna be very close. I honestly don't know who wins this game. I can't pick yet. I don't know.
Okay, I feel like you dodged me there, Donna.
No, like I don't.
Just like she dodged.
Can I blame the baby? She can't make a decision.
9 more days you can, and then you're on your own, sister.
Look, I stare at my pantry for hours. She can't make one damn decision. So I don't know.
The Jaguars beat the Patriots absolutely with Leonard Fournette. Without him, I would lean towards no, just because my head tells me that game plan with the 2-back set that the Patriots I think would have to be really nervous about with both Fournette and Yeldon or Grant back there, then they can kind of sniff out stuff if he's not on the football field.
I almost feel like Fournette is almost more of a cushion for Bortles than anything.
It's almost a security blanket.
Yes.
For
That's an astute point.
Yeah, so it takes a lot of the thinking out, a lot of the weight
off of
right. So if he's not in, then it's all on Bortles, and my face,
says it all. Sure.
I don't know if you want it all.
I don't know. He missed 3 games last year, and the Jaguars won all 3 of those games. So I think this offense is a lot. It's going to take some time. We're going to see some more sloppy play in the month of September. And this offensive line, but once they get gelled and once they get, the good chemistry going, I think a lot of guys can run behind that line. It's just a different style of play. They have to adjust the offense accordingly because Leonard Fournette is more of a power and the other guys are more shifty. But involve them in the passing game more. Involve them over the middle in passing schemes. I think that's where you'll have more of a significant advantage versus trying to turn Yeldon and Grant into a Fournette because they're not that guy.
And feel free to not drop any balls.
That too.
Yeah.
I know one of those games that the Jaguars won was against the Colts, which was such an easy win. They didn't need him, but I can't remember.
A win's a win, though. 3 games without your star running back, and your offense is arguably run through him. If he's missing 3 games and he won all 3 of those, that's a good thing to have. And he missed the half of the game this week, and they still won. So there's room to have hope.
If the wide receivers looked better in the opener, I would feel more confident about saying, yeah, okay, Leonard Fournette. Ideally, you'd have him go in this one. But it being the second game of the year, I wouldn't risk it. I personally, if it meant taking the loss or losing him but getting the win, I'd take the loss. And knowing that if I had to choose.
Yeah.
If I had to choose. If you told me he plays, but he ends up getting hurt and you win the game, but he's gone for a longer period of time.
Well, I think he's going to miss some time regardless anyways this season. So it's a matter of pick your spots, and I think this is if the doc says he can go and he wants to go,
sure,
put him out there.
Sure. All right, not a whole lot of time left.
Colts and Bengals for sure, by the way, because one of those weeks was a bye week, and then he was suspended for another game. So I don't think they were 3 in a row, if I remember.
I'm pretty sure I used that stat on the kickoff show last year. So I know it was 3 games that he missed, and we won all 3 of those games.
Yeah, I just don't think they were in a row. But if I remember correctly, it was I know it was Colts and Bengals, and there was a bye week in there, and then he was suspended for one other game. I just don't remember which game it was. But
and he missed the half this past week, so that counts too.
All right, we may disagree on that, but let's pile on one thing. I think we can all agree on something I'm going to steal. That was a point that I think Blythe you sent in, but I'm going to use it because we have to pile on Florida State and these silly turnover backpack.
They're awful.
Dora the Explorer wants her idea back. Miami wants its idea back. How absurd is the turnover backpack?
Well, apparently it's called securing the bag. It's not a turn, like Miami had the turnover chain, but this one is like securing the bag.
I don't care if it's a Louis Vuitton backpack. It's stupid.
Somebody pointed out they found the exact same one on the Home Shopping Network for like $47. So
maybe
good job.
It's an indicator, and I'm not trash talking when I say that Florida State has not played well. Maybe it's an indicator of that. I cannot trash talk because my team is finding
you can make fun of other teams. I mean, you can admittedly come out and say my team sucks, but this is also stupid that this other team is doing.
That's tradition.
There's room for that.
But I think it's bad when your own fan base is also
making fun of it,
laughing at it, right, and making fun of it. Yeah, the
turnover
chain I think
it's gimmicky.
Was awesome last year because it really inspired a team that used to have swagger a long time ago, had lost it,
bringing
and
it
then all
back.
of a sudden started to get good again.
Florida State is grasping at things that. Oh, I can't believe they are in that position to do.
I would want to be in that pitch meeting to say, this is what we're going to do, guys. We're going to bring in a backpack.
They said the players came up with it, so
All right, Donna, we'll enjoy the game on Sunday. Enjoy the half at least.
Thank you.
Maybe the full game, and certainly I hope you wear Jaguar stuff. Blythe, enjoy your tailgate and the game as well. I know you'll wear Jaguar stuff. Lauren and I will be on the kickoff show, fueled by Sawyer Gas, and then up in the press box for that 4:25 kick. So Donna, just turn around and wave to us if you're on that side of the stadium. Blythe, I don't think you're on that side of the stadium.
Nope, I'm on the home side.
Thanks to our producer, JJ La Selva. Tonight, stay tuned, of course, for XL Prime Time. For Donna Murphy, Lauren Rue, and Blythe Brumleve, I'm Lauren Brooks. Enjoy the rest of your Tuesday evening.
Bye, guys. Couple great weeks. 2 weeks coming up. Patriots, Titans. Let's get it. Go Jags.
Last year, who she was